testimonials on Zoom so people can actually hear from your lens rather than maybe reading it on my story or things like that of what kind of achievements clients have had, how quickly they've had them, and just hearing it from your point of view in the changes with the dynamics with your team, you as a business owner, and yeah, a little bit about how it all came to fruition, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I'll just if you want people to know where you're from, it's up to you. If you don't, it's no problem for me. So I guess we have met through NAC, through that platform, and I guess you knew a little bit about me. So I guess um, before we started working together, um, I know. I mean, I had obviously an opinion of your salon in the sense that you already had a very successful business, very great team. So it's interesting to see why, I guess, your thoughts on maybe getting a mentor. You've worked with other mentors before, and what that kind of all looked like, and how this all came about for you. And I guess what were your biggest challenges at the time, if there were any?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had mentors, business mentors over the last 10 years, and all different types. At the time, I think I first saw you at the first NAC collective event on the Gold Coast and heard you speak, but I was working with another coach at the time. And I just really enjoy having someone to help me help keep me be accountable. I have a really large team. I've got a really great group of team members. They don't cause me too much stress, and everyone gets along really well. Team culture is something that I'm really passionate about because I believe, if the culture is right, we spend more time at work than we do at home. So when I came across you, I'd spoken to a couple of other salon owners that had been working with you after the NAC collective event. And I was like, oh, I feel like I'm missing out. So that's when I joined with you. And to be honest, I think it was in like December last year when I reached out to you, which was probably the most craziest time, which I tend to do these things in really crazy, hectic times. And then when you came to the salon in February and did the day with like in salon training with the girls, it's just dramatically changed the dynamics of how my staff work, how we see our client journey for our clients, and the services that we offer, and just asking the right questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So was there any, so there wasn't really any frustrations. It was more about how can you just dial in and double down a little bit more on your processes, your client journey, and what that kind of all looked like. So you had some really great results straight away from the accelerator, didn't you?
We did literally the next day. The next
It
day,
was
because
wild, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
I love that. And I guess the next question was, we just then decided to get on a Zoom and see what the potential was of working together. And you decided to join my inner circle. And I guess you obviously knew me from doing that program, but I guess what were the things what was your expectations, I guess, around doing that? Like what were you hoping to get from it? And did you have any doubts or, what was, I guess,
Yeah.
something what that looked like?
Yeah. Um, I feel my biggest thing is, look, because it is such a big team, is how, like, I have these really great ideas, but then how do I go and implement that strategy to a team of 16? Um, and to be consistent and keep the performance happening. Like, that's where I was finding that I was getting stuck. Like, yep, I'd have a really great idea and we could do it, but we'd do it for 2 weeks and it'd drop off, but then just be completely gone and be like, why is it not working? Um, and then once I started working with you, I realized like I had the ideas and the strategy, but I wasn't implementing it correctly,
Yep.
and putting it in place in clear enough vision for my staff to follow on how it works and why it's so important. I probably really didn't have any doubts. To be honest, I think you're one of the first coaches that has actually stepped foot in my actual salon and can see the day-to-day running of how my salon works, what my team vibe is like, how we are as a group working together, which was a huge standout thing for me that I was like, actually, like this, she's working just with me. I'm not just another number.
Yeah. And I think I think a big point of difference, right? A lot of the time when you do work with a mentor, if they're not working with your team and don't know your team, I think it was probably, I don't know, you tell me if it's right or not, but when we did the accelerator, I built very big trust with your team from the get-go from that day, right? And I do that all the time. A lot of people say to me, "Oh my God, my team just
Yes.
love you. They just want more of you, like I have to share you with them now,
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so they had the buy-in. So do you feel like it was a lot easier then to implement everything because it was like, well, I'm working with Sonia. This is
Yeah.
how she sees things and how we should be doing them. And did you feel like the transition was there was no friction around the implementation?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I think before when I've implemented things, I'm sure they just think, oh, here she goes again. She's banging on with some other brainwave idea that she's got. Um, Whereas this time it was actually, no, this is Sonia. Like, you guys have to work with her as well. Like, we're all going to give it a go and give it a try and see how it works. And it's been amazing.
Yeah. You've had some, I guess what's been the biggest change in your business? And I guess I would love to touch on June because June was an
June was
absolutely
incredible.
standout. And I guess we even spoke about it. So we've only been working together since February. And I guess I think it was about April, May, we decided I did actually have a one-on-one with you where we said, what's your number? Like, what's the real number that you actually want to achieve? And you told me the number, and I think it was like, oh my God. And I think I pushed you a little bit more, and you're like, I'm pretty sure you thought, is she dreaming right now? Like, is
Yeah, I
she?
actually did. I did. I said to Chelsea, this is what Sonia's told us to do. And she's like, what the F? I'm like, I know, but we'll just see.
Yeah. So unpack that for me.
Um, June was incredible. It's usually one of our quietest months. We run a few your treatment incentive, which was great. I gave the girls a goal and separated them into two teams, an apprentice and senior, and they had a reward at the end for each team, but they all hit it in 2 weeks or ten working days, actually. Which I was like, oh my goodness. I thought it was actually going to be quite unachievable for them to do it. Um, and then when we sit back and looked at the figures and saw like how things have changed since June last year, I kind of was like, holy shit, like this is real, in a positive way. So then, yeah, it was so good. The girls were all really well. We had a team group bonding dinner as a reward. So
How did that
that was
go?
really,
Tell me. Were they
yeah, it
really
was good. A couple
excited?
of them the couple got sick at last minute and couldn't come and things like that. So it wasn't all of us there, but it worked out really well. So I just think having those treatment and strategies in place for them it makes them feel better too, I reckon, like about
Do you feel?
themselves.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that we did actually change in your business was our targets. I think that was one thing that we really unpacked very quickly and identified. I think we even spoke about it as I was leaving after the
Mm.
accelerator. That was one thing that we kind of it was like, oh, we need to get on a call because I think there's things that we could really dial in and double down on. Um, Now most of your team are hitting target.
They are, yes. We're hitting target. I've always had a target bonus structure, not commission bonus structure in place. But until we started working with you, it was kind of a hit and miss kind of, did we get it, did we not, what are we up to? And that's my responsibility for it being so, flaky, I guess is the word, because numbers is not my strong point. And, but the system that you gave us for that was just like not rocket science. It's easy to do. The girls come in on a Monday, they plan out their week, they know what they've got ready to get done for the week. And it gives them like a self of importance or pride as well.
And it gives them a challenge. It gives them something to get excited about. Like people see targets as, oh God, I've got to do my target. But you know what? When the rewards are like this is why I changed. a lot of hairdressing salons KPIs because the rewards sometimes are so minimal that there's not enough to drive them to actually achieve
Mm.
it, right? Where your team now, probably you're making the most money you've ever made. Your team are also being rewarded and probably making more money than they've ever made. So it's a win-win. Like it's not like, oh, you're the only one that's winning here. Everyone's winning. Everyone's
Yeah.
happy. Everyone's like, I know you have a really solid team and dynamics, but how is it now? Like, is it more solid than it probably ever has been?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And everyone understands their role a lot clearer. The other thing I didn't mention too since working with you is our retail sales. Um, just by having those conversations and not being a cold sales pushy person, which I feel we all were. We all felt like we were a pushy, we don't want to be that pushy hairdresser. But just thinking about things differently and how we have those conversations has made a huge change in our retail sales and also how our clients see us as their hairdresser and that actually looking after them and their hair, not just selling them something. Like
Yeah.
that full stigma is completely gone.
Yeah. And none of them feel friction around that anymore, right?
No, it
Like,
was
so I think you did not 14,900 in treatments in June,
yeah,
and then you did what, 12,500 or something in retail for the
retail.
month.
Yeah.
So we were actually, so that ridiculous number that you thought I was kind of just plugging out of the air, um, we were like 2K short.
Yeah. Yes.
How crazy was that?
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, yeah. So I think it was like, just so people know, we don't tell them what the big number was, but it was an extra 51,000 from June last year.
Yeah.
Like you're 4 ROI'd. That's not even the ROI you got after the accelerator.
No,
Like
that's right. Well,
you've
that was
cut,
in,
yeah. So your return on investment was within what? So you
I,
signed up to my inner circle. So we did the 6 months inner circle.
yeah.
Um, so what how quickly did you pay the inner circle off?
I feel like it was in 2 weeks. Was it in and the first one, the accelerator?
So the accelerator was probably 2 weeks, and
The
then we did
accelerator
the
was 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure
so
that's
I
the
reckon it
first
was like another 30 days and you had the other.
other. Yes. All done. Yeah.
Wow. So the
Which is
rest is
for,
just all,
yeah, the rest has been and I've never had that success before with a coach or a mentor.
yeah, love that. Thank you. Um, and if there was a salon owner just listening to this, and sitting on the fence, on whether to invest or take a chance on themselves, and what it would look, what would be something you would say to them, at, you know?
Yeah. I think I would just say to them, like, give it a go. What have you got to lose? But if you're not prepared to make changes, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I feel like, is that your saying?
Yeah, I always say
Sometimes
what
I
you,
catch myself out saying stuff and I'm telling you, it sounds like Sonia.
actually, it's funny you should say that. A lot of salons say to me, "Oh my God," I always say, "Is that a story or is that a fact or a story?" Like
Sorry.
they start to say, "Oh, what's in it for them?" Like they start reciting stuff, and do you know what? I absolutely love that because then I know it's stuck.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And I guess the biggest one was, what you can't track, you can't measure, and I think that's something that you really did start to track on performance because
Mm.
what I do see in salons, and tell me if I'm wrong, but um, we give them targets. And I mean, how long have you been in business, Katrina?
I've had the salon for 18 years.
Yeah. And your staff have had targets since that whole time?
Not the whole time, no, but probably at least the last 6 years in the new space. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I do see is staff have targets, but we don't actually have an accountability process in
Mm.
place, right?
Yeah.
So we run businesses and we know we've got to give them a target, but then it's like, oh, they didn't hit it again. Oh, they didn't hit it again. Or it's like you said, it's wishy-washy, right? So it's this forever conversation of, oh, why didn't you hit it? What can we do? What didn't you do? And it's almost like this elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. But we know we have to get staff to make their targets.
Yes.
It's an integral part of our business. It's a leaky bucket, right?
Yeah.
But we don't actually know how to support them in that journey, which you know what that looks like now, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but they are doing it by themselves now,
They are. Yes. Yep. Coming in and work. They've got the formulas ready to go, working out how to do it.
right? So
Whereas
they're quite,
before, yeah, yeah, it was just all
sorry,
too in the too hard basket.
yeah, but now they're doing it. So we actually have created quite independent stylists who are driven and ready to hit target, opposed to you having to constantly motivate them and go, oh, make sure you do your target this week. And it's kind of like, but they're not actually got the tools, right? Where now, whether you're there or not,
Yeah.
they know what to do and how to hit that. So, um, yeah, I love that. Thank you. So you reckon just go in, just
I reckon
bite
going, but
the,
be prepared. You have to make the changes. Like, there's no point doing the work and then go, oh, it didn't work for me if you're not going to do what you say to do. So you
yeah.
have to be prepared to make the change. And it is hard work, but if you want change, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I think, when we talk about hard work, do you think it's hard work or do you think it's just being uncomfortable with change?
Uncomfortable change.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard. I
No.
think it's getting out of your comfort zone and going, right, I now have to implement something that I feel friction about. And I now have to go to the team and actually say to them, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I've got someone holding me accountable. And
Absolutely.
so sometimes we mistake whether hard or implementation. Sometimes it's just about getting out of our comfort zone and going, you know what? Yeah, I know I've got to do this, and I know someone's going to hold me to it. And am I ready to be held accountable? Because I know when I invested in my mentor, and I paid 45,000 for a year, and I was shitting my pants because I was like, oh my God, now I've just paid for this. I now have to do the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I now have to show up. And let me tell you, there was a lot of uncomfortable moments where I was like, I don't want to be doing this. And he's like, well, bad luck.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're paying me for. And that's really important. I think people do need that little push to go "Eh," and get
Yeah.
uncomfortable because that's where the
Uncomfortable.
magic is, right?
That's right. You only grow from an uncomfortable, yeah, always stay the same. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're an absolute delight to work with. I love your whole team. They are absolutely thriving and doing such an amazing job. The results have been phenomenal, and kudos to you for, like we just said, for implementing. And kudos to the team as well, because, they've also had to get really uncomfortable to get comfortable, like to really start to reap the rewards. And at the end of the day, I think your clients are the biggest winners.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you,
Yeah.
Sonia. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you, superstar. I'm just
Thank
going
you.
to